Welcome to the Get Fit Guys, quick and dirty tips to get moving and shape up. My name is Brock Armstrong, and I'm the Get Fit Guy. A while ago, I filmed myself for one of my Workout of the Week videos doing some crawling movements. Specifically, I did the inchworm, the bear crawl, and the crab walk. And while I know that crawling around on the floor isn't exactly the coolest way to stay fit, although I have seen some videos of Chris Hemsworth making it look pretty cool, it is a basic human movement that remains important even after we've successfully learned how to walk. Now, doing some work on all fours, including the crawling exercises like I did in that video, can promote and maintain proper movement patterns. They can build new connections in the brain, can protect us from injury, and challenge our strength and stability. Now, that is why I think getting down on the floor to do some crawling exercises is a great addition to anyone's exercise program. And if you're skeptical about whether crawling can be a great form of strength and mobility exercise, well, you can simply check out a football practice because you are very likely to see professional football and rugby players crawling around on the field during practice. They use this movement to help build lateral strength and the ability to transfer power from the lower body to the upper body. You may also have seen soldiers crawling around as part of their basic training. As they say, keeping low can keep you alive, and while I mean it in a different way, I couldn't agree more. Fitness and rehab professionals have also seen a big rise in the popularity of crawling movement patterns as well. Exercises involving rocking, squatting, rolling, and crawling are now being used regularly to help people out of their chronic pain. For us adults who spend all of our locomotion time on our two hind feet and our sedentary time in the double 90-degree chair position, well, we can use crawling to keep our body guessing and surprise it with new motions and new angles to make exercising fun and effective. Try this. Get down on all fours. Try to keep your bottom down and in line with your head to keep your body as close to parallel with the floor as possible. Now bring your heels up so you're on your toes. Now pull yourself forward using your arms and hands. Now using just your legs, catch your body back up to your arms and repeat. And here's a quick tip. Instead of placing your palms on the floor, keep your hands in a loose fist to take some of the pressure off your wrists. Now try this. From that same position, flip over and try crawling with your belly facing up. Instead of alternating your arms and legs to crawl forward, try moving sideways by moving opposite limbs. Again, try to keep your bottom in line with the rest of your body as best you can. And here's a quick tip. For an added challenge and some fun, you can use a weighted vest or a loaded up backpack to up the ante. Now try this. Lay flat on the floor and lift your body just barely off the ground using your elbows and toes. Now use your elbows to crawl forward like you're an alligator sneaking up on its prey. And here's a quick tip. You can spend some time practicing your low plank position before you start trying to take this one on tour. Now, okay, if you did all three of these movements I just described back to back, you're likely already convinced how much of a workout this type of movement can actually give you. You're likely out of breath, and depending on how long you did each movement for, you might even have a case of jelly arms or wiggle legs. Now, crawling really is a lot more effective than we think. It's a whole body movement where you have to support your entire body weight with your limbs, and it requires some pretty underused coordination as well. It also engages your calves, your quads, your glutes, your shoulder girdle, your abdominals, and all those tiny muscles in your wrists, your feet, ankles, and hips. Whether you crawl on your hands and toes or crawl facing up, you will be working pretty much your whole body. As babies, we humans instinctively crawl, but pretty much as soon as we learn how to walk, we abandon crawling, well, aside from specific circumstances. Now, after learning how to walk, our quadrupedal movements are relegated to getting under something low or avoiding dangerous situations or playing with our pets or lowering our center of gravity if we feel unsteady in a situation. But here are a few more reasons why I think you should change that. And the first reason I think we should do more crawling is for injury prevention. Now here's a story. I went snowshoeing a couple of weeks ago, and at least twice that day, I found myself quite suddenly in a crawling position. Now, I have to say that I was pretty grateful for all the time I have spent practicing getting in and out of this position. Now, the first time I found myself in that crawling position was after I caught my toe in some loose powder and face planted while going down a steep hill, a little too recklessly perhaps. Now, the second time was because I hit some ice and my feet actually shot out from under me. Now, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that I escaped both of those situations completely unscathed due to the strength and stability that I have developed by practicing things like bear crawls and crab walks. And you don't have to be a winter sport adventurer to enjoy these benefits either. If you're suffering from balance problems or you're recovering from some injuries, being able to crawl helps a lot. Plus, as we age, we become more prone to falling, and practicing crawling exercises regularly can help us maintain our mobility and balance, while also strengthening our muscles, bones, and ligaments. Being comfortable in a crawling position can also protect us from not only the panic of the fall, it can also help us maintain the ability to fall safely and return to an upright position with greater ease and resiliency. Now, the next reason I think we should crawl more is for the cognitive benefits. Now, because of its unique movement pattern and perspective on the world, crawling requires both sides of our brain to work together. If you did the exercises I described to you earlier, you will have experienced that to successfully move in a crawling position, your limbs on both sides of the body have to move synchronously in what's called a contralateral movement pattern. Now, the contralateral movement pattern unites your brain's sensory systems and integrates your balance system, your proprioceptive system, and your visual systems. And when your brain passes a lot of information through the corpus callosum, which connects the hemispheres of the brain, as it does during a crawling exercise, your body will build new neural connections and strengthen old ones. And you know what? We all want new neural connections. Trust me. Now, here's a final word of caution. As always, it's important to remember that just because crawling can be a fun and effective exercise to add to your workout program, it's not necessarily appropriate for everyone. People who may want to avoid crawling are individuals with inflexible or weak wrists and forearms, just work on that first, people with certain types of knee pain, folks that have joint replacements or other pathologies that make particular movements challenging or painful, and individuals of a particular size or body shape who find this type of movement difficult or even embarrassing. But if you don't have any of these restrictions, I definitely recommend that you give crawling a try. If nothing else, you should have a good laugh, even if you don't feel like you've had a good workout. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. And don't forget to tune in next week because I have yet another awesome guest. It is Brad Kearns, and he's going to be here to talk to us about micro workouts and how we can put those into play into our daily lives. It's going to be a good one. All right, I'd like to thank everybody here at Quick and Dirty Tips, including Karen Hertzberg, Michelle Margulis, Morgan Ratner, Emily Miller, and our Vice President, Kathy Doyle. And I'd also like to thank you, the listener, because, you know, us podcasters sometimes feel like we're just talking into the great void of the internet. So thank you for being there, listeners. You really are the reason why I do this every single week. So thank you. Now, my name is Brock Armstrong. I'm the Get Fit Guy, asking you, what are you waiting for? Get down on the ground and crawl.